What's good, YouTube? Stavens Sports Cards here, back with the Four Collectors live stream event. Thank you to Theo, James, Caesar, and John for putting this on. I'm very honored to be here. We will be talking about expanding past player runs.
Welcome to Four Collectors.
And we are live. I couldn't just talk about this by myself. It's Four Collectors. Four Collectors is community-based. Had to get to that number 4. And I have 3 great player collectors who have expanded into the world of obscure and lesser-known issues. So Matt from THA Card Story, my good buddy Will, and Hall of Famer picker Jim S. How are we doing, everybody?
Doing great, Dom.
Well, thanks for having me.
Awesome. So the reason I got us cultivated together is because all 4 of us have similar streams to our collecting. And I think it starts with a player run. So, Jim, as the man who's been doing this the longest, what got you into Carl Yastrzemski and making you pursue getting all of his Cops cards?
Well, to be honest, first of all, appreciate you having me on. Thank you very much for that. It's great to be with you guys, all 3 of you. And to get to your question, I've been a big Yaz fan pretty much my whole life since I was a young kid and I started following the Red Sox. Yaz was still playing, and it was towards the end of his career in the late 70s when I really started getting into it. But was still a very good player, and my grandfather was a big Yaz fan. My dad was a Yaz fan, and big Red Sox fans, and that got me to be a big fan of Yaz. And when I started getting into collecting, anything that I found that was Yastrzemski related, I wanted it. And if I was able to pick it up, that was what I wanted to do. So you just started accumulating Yastrzemski stuff from an early age.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely admire, is the head start that you've gotten on us other Yaz collectors to kind of get all these amazing cards. It's so awesome to kind of see someone that watched the player play. But for some of us that collect these vintage guys, we didn't get to see them play. And ways to find interest could be from our fandom. Will, I know you've been a Orioles fan for a very long time. So how did you get into collecting Brooks Robinson?
I guess my story is similar to Jim's. My great-grandmother, actually, so I guess you could say I'm 4th-generation Oriole fan. She lived in Baltimore, just down the street from Memorial Stadium. My grandfather was born and raised there. Both their favorite players was Brooks Robinson. Passed it on to my dad. His favorite player was Brooksy. So, and I'm a vintage guy. I collect a lot of vintage sets, Hall of Fame autographs, things like that. So Brooks was just a natural choice for me.
And that's awesome. Even though we don't get along during the regular season, we can appreciate each other's guys for sure.
Hey,
and
we lost today, but still 32 games over 500, I believe. So
yeah, you guys got a little bit of a lead on us. It's okay.
We're doing all right.
And Matt, THA Card Story for Tyrus Henry. Talk a little bit about how you got into Hank Aaron appreciation and collecting.
Yep. So being a numbers person, I grew up like everyone else, looking at the back of baseball cards and statistics, and eventually going into accounting and finance for a career. So I look at numbers all the time. And so who better to collect in terms of accumulating statistics than Hank Aaron, right? So in terms of, I guess, impetus for the channel, obviously you mentioned Tyrus Henry, who my son's name, right? So after Ty Cobb and Hank Aaron. So we've had a great time to start collecting it together. And that's when we started doing the YouTube channel a few months later. I thought, let's just go after all the Hank Aaron cards. I think he was pretty undervalued compared to a lot of the players out there, considering the career he had. So we've just been doing it together. It's a little more achievable than going after a Mantle or Ruth or some of the other guys, just super expensive. So we've had a great time. There's a lot of material to collect. We've been fortunate to pick up a lot of cool items. So
yeah, it's been really awesome watching a father-son journey like that, putting together both the Topps player run and beyond, as we'll get into. But I think it starts with the player run. It's kind of the grassroots. Everybody knows about Topps. It's iconic. They've been making baseball cards all the way back from the 1948 Topps Magic Photos and on. And it's just really awesome kind of seeing when you get a player like these guys who have played 20 plus years and getting their Topps cards from every single iconic set, seeing how the player changed, seeing how the set designs changed. But it really comes down to the crown jewel of putting that run together is the rookie card. So I have my favorite card personally, the 1960 Topps Carl Yastrzemski. And cards like this, when you're just focusing on the Topps cards, it's the most expensive one, it's the most desirable one, and it's the one that is really the crown jewel of that player run. When you put that showcase together, it stands right at the front and it stands bold. So I know that all of you put together these Topps runs. I see Will's pairing with me there with the Yastrzemski. It's awesome. But putting together this Topps run, first, there's obviously the reason we get interested in these guys. But when we were putting together our Topps runs, I think it's important to talk about kind of how we decided to put that together. I know you guys are more into the registries than myself, but putting together the Topps set registry and kind of what that journey was and where that rookie card kind of fit into that story for you guys. So I'm going to start with Jim again.
Okay, yeah. For me, I mean, the as far as doing the player run, I mean, I had been out of the hobby for a number of years, and when I got back in, like the first card show I went to, I picked up his rookie card, and so at that point, I figured, what the heck? I already had a lot of his cards. They weren't graded, just raw cards, but I picked up the rookie card. It was graded, and right around that time, I started learning about the set registries and really getting into the set registry, wanting to do the set registry. So I thought, being a big Yaz fan, I mean, who better to start doing a set registry for than for Yaz? So I had the rookie card, and I just went from there, and just no rhyme or reason to how I picked them up. After that, just when I found a good deal on a nice looking example, I grabbed it and started adding them up, and took a while. He's got 24 cards just in his basic set. So, he played a lot of years, but it's a tough one to put together. But I mean, it took a while, and I wasn't in a rush, and got it done.
Yeah, and I think completing that player run, it's a really cool accomplishment. I see a lot of those tabletop showcases showing off the player run, putting it together. And like I said, getting that show of the player aging as well as the different Topps designs from the different eras. So, Will, how did your Brooks Robinson Topps run go?
Well, like most people, I went for the rookie card first. I grew up in a time like the 90s. So buying the rookie card was huge, like saving up all summer, mowing lawns, things like that, just to get the 89 Topps 85 401, right? Mark McGwire rookie. One of my friend got it at our local card shop. I was so jealous. So collecting rookie cards was huge for when I was a kid. And then I was like, well, I didn't really know much about grading cards, like graded cards back when I bought the Brooks rookie. One of the guys that kind of got me started watching YouTube was Ray from Philly. And as we all know, he's a big registry guy. So like the whole collector's grade idea, I mean, I didn't get the rookie in the collector's grade. I couldn't afford it at the time. But, looking back at my rookie right now, I mean, I see it on the table here. It's really well centered, got good registration. I had no clue what I was doing. I just bought one that I could afford. Started with the rookie card and went from there. Like Jim, just bought good deals and put it all together. The 65 Topps was actually the last card, so Dom, you'd appreciate that. I could only get it in a 5. I really wanted it centered. That's when I started learning more about graded cards, like buy the card, not the grade. So I held out for a centered one, and the one I have is a 5. It's more centered than any of the 6s I found, so that was the last one. But just buying good deals and trying to complete that run. He does have 2 non-Topps cards in his run. The 60 Fleer Leaf, 60 Leaf, and the 63 Fleer. So I have those 2. But yeah, getting started with the rookie card.
Yeah, that's awesome. And feel free when you're talking about these cards to show them if you have them by your side. I mean, definitely people want to see the cards. Oh, there's the Brooksy.
Little player there. But yeah. It's in a 4. But yeah. Good card.
That's awesome.
Probably one of my favorites in my collection. So,
And Matt, I know you were putting together like the base cards first. You kind of started with the stuff that's more quantity out there and kind of blew through getting that. So talk about like your journey to putting together Hank Aaron's Topps run as well.
Sure. And I know I've talked about this a few times, but our first card we picked up for Hank wasn't until last April at the Dallas Card Show in 2022. And we picked up not a big one, the 74 Topps #1, kind of the premature celebration of being the home run king. And then
An iconic card.
Yeah, and then a few months later, when we actually started buying the cards pretty hot and heavy. So we really did this in, I don't know, probably about 3 months. He's got about 70 cards if you count all the, Topps minis, Topps, all the league leaders, all that stuff. Here's our rookie card. We made the mistake, it looks like in hindsight, that we went with CSG for all these. So probably saved some money along the way doing that. But again, now we got some potential buyer's remorse in terms of having to maybe cross over some of these. We'll see. But yeah, no, we had a good time with it, but it went quickly, and then realized that there's many more cards to get, right? So that's why we try to branch it out into picking up, call them oddball, call them obscure, whatever you want to call them. I don't want to people are sensitive, I realize, but there's a lot of fun cards to pick: Venezuela, OPG, etc. Right? So.
No, definitely. And I think that's a great transition. We're going to be John Mangini friendly here with the wording, but there's a lot of cards to collect out there outside of the Topps run. It makes sense that a lot of people start with that. It's the name brand. It's the most popular. It's the stuff that a lot of people can share in appreciating and collecting. So putting together the Topps run is fun, but we always have a card or a set that kind of makes us think about what else did Topps do? What else did these regional places do for these players that I love to collect already? And as collectors, we're never going to have it all, but we always do want more kind of in the back of our head. So for me personally, branching out into like the non-basic Topps cards, it was the 64 Topps Giants, the cards that I teased for my guests on my latest video. These are just great colored images. I love the baseball on the card. There's a infielder, outfielder, and pitcher for all of the 20 teams. It's a cheap set, and they have these great newspaper articles on the back, just talking about an iconic season or moment in the player's career thus far. And this just made me think, well, Topps did these, Topps did all other kinds of stuff. And you dive into the YouTube world and the internet, it was so much harder to figure out about these older issues without the internet. It's readily available. So seek and you shall find. You find out more from YouTubers. You find out more reading on articles, checking the master set registries about all the cards that your player is in, and you can find some really awesome stuff. So as registry guys, what card or what collector, what story got you into collecting the non-basic Topps stuff, Jim?
Well, I mean, honestly, I will mention Ray from Philly, and he's a big set registry guy, and him and Mike Moynihan, they were talking about the set registries all the time, and I just started looking into them, and it went from there. Also, a couple other guys that are on YouTube that are big player collectors would be Nate, Topps 85401, and Dustin over at Dustin and Blake. They're big player collectors as well, more modern so than vintage. But just from watching these guys, go after these players that they like, and amazing how many. I mean, some players have like several thousand cards out there, especially the more modern players. There's so many different sets and stuff. I wouldn't go that crazy with it, but I looked at the set registry for Yaz, and I think the master set, he has like 429 cards in his master set. And I'll never get them all, but like you said, it's fun to look at the checklist. Like sometimes I'll just go through the checklists, and then I'll go over to eBay and I'll see if I can find those cards on eBay or wherever. And it's fun to do. And there's some cards out there that they're just so rare you'll never find them, and if you do find them, you gotta take out a loan to get it. But for the most part, anything that I find that is obtainable, I definitely try to go for it. And then of course too, there's a lot of them out there that a lot of stuff you can just go right on eBay right now and buy it. You know what I mean? It's there. But I mean, I try to, when I find some that there's very few, if any, and they don't come up a lot, those are the ones that, you really like to find.
And do you have some examples from your collection of some personal favorites that you have that were those opportunities where there weren't a lot and you were able to get one?
Yeah, I have a few here that I can show. I'll go with this one first. This is one that I just picked up.
Oh man.
It's kind of hard to see with the glare, but yeah, this is the 1971. This is from the All-Star photo pack, and I also have the team photo here as well. So you can just see the differences. Same photo, but just the script on the top is different. And so I was happy to get that. Also got this 1982 All-Star. This is from the All-Star game program. It was an insert that was in the program. And this is really cool too, because the All-Star game was in Montreal that year, and you can see the back. It's got some French writing on there, and it's got the Expos logo there on the top. So those two, and I also picked, this is one of the ones I picked up at the National, the 1977 Venezuelan League, Carl Yastrzemski, and that's the sticker. And I think the population on that is only like 25 total graded. So there's not a whole heck of a lot of those around. And you were with me when I bought this one. This is the Atlantic Oil, and it's the play ball back. And that's also a very low population. There's only been 22 of these graded by PSA. So don't see those around a lot, especially the play ball back is a little bit even less than the other back that they have on these where it has the rules. So that's that one. And this one isn't very rare, but since you showed your Topps Giant, this is probably one of my favorite cards just because of the fact that, as you said, it's a great looking card, but it's autographed by him as well. So yeah, those are a few of them. And I also just recently picked up this one. This is a 1983 Flair stickers, and it's got Yastrzemski and Ken Forsch on there. And I think that's just a really cool looking image of Yastrzemski there. And you can sometimes find these raw, but PSA is actually only graded 6 of these. So there's not a whole heck of a lot of them out there as well. So yeah, that's a few anyway.
Yeah, and I think some of those examples are great of how it can be general scarcity versus grading scarcity as well, because like the 1964 Topps Giants in itself is not rare, but the fact that yours has an authentic Yaz auto on it kind of puts it in a different category. And like that 68 Atlantic Oil that we both share, those being rip cards and not having a huge secondary market, I think that impacts the amount of them that actually get sent in because you're hoping to get better than a 1 on those cards. So things like that are also really fun to think about, the distribution, the popularity, and which cards are genuinely scarce and which cards just aren't graded quite as often, like that sticker that you showed there afterwards.
Right.
Now, Will, you are very new to the world of collecting the obscure. You've now been expanding past your Brooks Robinson Topps run into the world of these really fun cards that some Topps made, some didn't. So what has your approach been like as someone that's kind of in the first steps of this?
Well, using my resources. I mean, you and I text all the time about stuff. I saw that London's coins at the show last weekend, and you were my go-to guy to text and see if that was a good deal. And so yeah, using the resources, watching YouTube guys like Mangini, Jim and Matt and yourself, other guys that do it, just learning from that. I guess I got intrigued kind of off of YouTube. I don't know if you guys know the guy. His name is Mark Fehrenbacher. He's big on Facebook. I know that. He's really big into the Venezuelan Topps. He has a whole Facebook group for them. He actually has been to Venezuela, I believe, to track down the cards in person. So I've talked to him a little bit. I have a 68 Venezuelan Topps Brooks. It's over there. But that's kind of what piqued my interest in things other than the basic Topps run. I've really gotten into the oversized stuff lately. It's really hard to store, but kind of leaning towards that more and more. I got a couple to show. This is I guess the Rawlings premium photo. It's really big, so I don't know if it'll fit in the whole pan there, but
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
I got that one. Then I got this one. Dom and I talked about this. It's the Dexter Press. This is the team pack, I believe. I have the All-Star one as well. It's raw. Don't tell Jake, but it's going to PSA. But yeah, like you said, I'm just kind of getting my feet wet in the whole non-tops thing. Just leaning on the other guys like you guys for advice and recommendations. And like Jim said, just checking out the registry, seeing what piques my interest, going to eBay and looking it up, see if I can buy it, how many copies are out there. Pop reports, I haven't really gotten a whole lot into that yet. Dom, you kind of speak to that a little bit when we text. I guess I need to get into more of the pop reports, but if I see it, I like the card, it's a good condition, I can afford it, I try to pick it up. So
yeah, and I think that's a great kind of piece of advice for anybody who's out there that's kind of really interested in a specific player and maybe collecting their player run, that using the PSA master set checklist as a resource to learn about these different issues, both what they look like in the names, but as well as kind of the populations. So you can kind of put into like an idea of how easy it would be to attain one of them for your collection. Some of those oversized ones, which all of us here love the oversized stuff, they don't get graded just because the grading companies charge an arm and a leg for those things to get graded. So some of those are actually really rare, and some of them just are rare to be graded. But you can kind of use that as a great resource before you even start talking to all these great resources here on YouTube and all the great articles that have been written about these sets as well online. And talking about oversized stuff, Matt, I know you have really gotten into the oversized Hank Aaron stuff. So talk about the first cards that got you outside of the Topps run and the appreciation.
Sure. And again, back to kind of what you were saying, I forgot people touched on, right? Like John Mangini, I know like Blue Jacket 66, like they highlighted a lot of these really obscure sets that I had no idea even existed, right? So one of the ones I got early on late last year was this 59 home run derby. Glare's really bad for Hank Aaron. It's just a blank back. They did a reprint set in '88, so if you are looking for this, over here it'll be like maybe it's on the side. They'll be writing like 1988 across the side. So that one's one of the first ones, and then a couple of them. I picked up this one with Scott Stukes. This is the Swift Meats from '57.
The crime scene card.
I call it the Dexter set because it looks like the body parts all chopped up. And then in terms of kind of Topps oddball, I don't know, maybe we'll go into all the Topps kind of test issues or whatever, but this is kind of like the first one, if you think about it, like the double header from 55, if you don't count the 51 game set, right? So I want to show that one. And then obviously, like one of the ones that's, again, I'm picking amongst your favorite children, right? Picking a favorite child here. Like to your point, Don, this one probably isn't rare, but it's because the grading cost. This is a 61 Manny's Land. It's a pop 5. It's 8x10, and then just cut me off when you need to. This one, I think, definitely probably rare, though. This is for like the 70 Dayton Daily News newspaper. They just picked a different player each day. It's not really a card. It's a newspaper clipping. That one is definitely just a handful of those out there, and they're all graded authentic because it's cut from a paper. Trying to think. I'm not sure if I want to go to certain sets or not. I got more oversized stuff, I guess, like the Bazooka box. This is the, let's see, 64 Bazooka. Killabrews on there as well. So, I mean, I definitely love the oversized, the big PSA holders. Have been great. There's a lot of Bazooka, right? But to your point about the master set, that's what I've been using as like a checklist, right? So, I think Jim just mentioned 429 for Yaz. We're similar. It's 432 for Aaron. So, I have a little over half, like 55% of it, but not all in PSA holders yet. So, making our way through it. But it's been great. Yeah, we love picking up. I mean, I have everything laid out. We can look at any card. If anyone has any special requests, let me know. But got a little bit of everything pulled out.
Yeah, if you didn't show that home run derby, I was going to request it for sure. That's just an awesome card. And those were given out at car dealerships down in your neck of the woods in Texas. So they're just an obscure thing, whether they come from car dealerships on the box of a bubble gum, or like you said, Topps with the 1955 double headers and branching out some things that were inserts in Topps packs and other things that were test issues. Like I have the 1968 Action All-Star sticker right here of Carl Yastrzemski. PSA's only graded 18 of these. And part of that is because it's an oversized item and it charges more to grade, but part of it is because there's not a lot of these left. When I see the couple that are keep getting reposted on eBay of the complete sheet, I understand why they're asking a fortune for it, because there's not a lot of the all put together 3-tier sheets of these left. And a personal favorite of mine is the 1971 Topps Greatest Moments. This was a test issue released in the New York City area, and Topps just really tried to get creative, especially once Bowman was out of the picture, into giving the consumer more options outside of the basic Topps, knowing that there's be people that want more to collect more. And like the Topps Giants, they have awesome backs with the newspaper. This one talks about the Boston Globe and his Triple Crown season in 1967. So Topps did stuff, and you also get things like Kahn's Kielbasa singles, Carl Yastrzemski, or the Kielbasa Power, like stuff like this outside of even a card issue, something that's just part of the packaging, book. Maybe if you really like a player, you can start with the master set registry to get everything that's in the PSA graded world, and then you can branch out even further and find out what other things their player that you appreciate is pictured on. So it's really fun to dig into these non-Topps things as well. Topps did give a lot of variety, I think, especially in the 60s, but you are right, Matt, started with those 55 doubleheaders.
Yeah, the 68 Action All-Star is really nice, though. I pulled mine out, too. Did you have the one that has the 3? Does he have one with 3 players or no?
Yeah, so the full pages are a 3-player on the top and bottom with a full-size player in the middle.
Got it. Yeah, I need to get this one sent off still. But no, those are fun. Yeah, the Topps test issues are really good.
Yeah, and I think Topps getting creative and kind of having that same itch that we have as collectors to branch out is really important. So just as a kind of a thought exercise, the cards that we have in our collection, the lower pop ones, as just approaching buying them or researching them in general, what resources do you use outside of YouTube? Because there are so many great collectors. You named some of them: Dave Blue Jacket 66, John Mangini, Rocket Rick J, Stukes Baseball Cards and Curiosities. There's a ton of people that are super immersed in this world of obscure great cards. But what resources do you guys like to use to research outside of kind of the PSA Master Set Registry and these YouTubers that we've talked about? I don't know if that was just on my end, but I'm going to go to Jim if you heard what I said.
Yeah, I think I got the gist of it. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, for me, I just mostly just go off the set registry, and then just, I go to card shows, and I like to go to a lot of like antiques shops and places like that, and just, anywhere where I could possibly find something, I'm going to be looking, you know what I mean? And when I come across something, and if I can get it, I get it. I found stuff at antique shops, and, it's crazy. When you see, 2 card shows and things like that. Facebook's a good place too. People always selling stuff on there, and just always looking, and, like you're talking about the master set, you get to learn what all these different things are. And even if you can't find them right away, you keep it in the back of your mind. And, when you see it, you know exactly what it is. And, that's just basically what I do. I'm just anywhere I could possibly try to find stuff is where I'm looking,
No, that's fair. And I feel like there's a lot of research, the stuff that outside of Topps isn't always fully documented. That's why it's fun to see the resources that are out there. I love that John Mangini's doing a newsletter, deeper diving into some of these obscure issues. But Will, what resources outside of the YouTubers and the PSA Master Set have you been using to kind of find out about the distribution and different details about these sets that you're looking at?
I guess for me, like, similar to YouTube, I just lean on the guys that have been doing it longer than I have. I'm in a Brooks Robinson collectors group on Facebook, and those guys post stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, that looks awesome. You and I talked about one the other day. What was it? that really weird cartoon one, the taco or something. That thing was crazy. But yeah, leaning on other guys that have been doing it longer. That's where I got that sportscaster card, Brooks Robinson, and then going back and seeing that it's on the registry, and I just got so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to buy this. It's raw, so I got to send out with the PSA as well. But just leaning on guys that have been doing it longer than I have. So that's pretty much it. And then the master set registry as well. Like Jim said, those are my two big resources. And I know I met along the way. I guess he lives in Maryland somewhere. I'm not really sure where I met him. I haven't met him in person, but through social media, I guess the Brooks Robinson Collectors Group. He's like top 3 in the master set. I think he's over 99%. I think maybe he has a couple cards left to go to complete it. Just kind of leaning on him. He's open for me to send him messages on Facebook all the time and just say, hey, I bought extras from him from his collection. Asked him questions about different sets, pricing on getting things graded. If I see something at a show, do I think it's a good price? I sometimes message him. I don't know. Like I said, just leaning on other guys that have been doing longer than I have. So that's my big takeaway.
Can't hear Don.
Oh, no. We lost your sound, Don.
I can't hear Don, but I'll go ahead and tell you my resources. So I use, like you guys, the master set, but then also Net54 is a really good online forum. And there's actually, if you search your player, there's going to be someone that's already done like a card of the day or a card of the month or whatever, and they've shown all their various cards. That's how I learned about a lot of the cards, but I want to make sure things are legitimate if they weren't already graded, right? So that's a really good resource. And then also using your resources like we talked about, like Spooks told me about some of these books, like there's like the standard catalog, which I know some of people have shown as well, right? So there's other books out there that show pictures of the cards. They talk about how the cards were issued. That's been super helpful. And I think a lot of it's just going to the shows, right, and see what you see, right? And that's why it's been good to go with a fellow YouTubers that know more than I do, right? So, but yeah, just kind of always having an open mind. It's probably the most important thing, right? Because, I mean, there's coins, cards, stamps. I'm looking at all kinds of random things on my desk. I'm like, I never would have thought I would have bought all this stuff, but it's been fun to collect it. And there's people that always know more, so just be open to that.
For sure.
Can you hear us, Tom? I can't hear you. Can't hear Tom.
That's a great point, though, Matt. That standard catalog of vintage baseball cards, that's a really great resource. And I think pretty much every card that's ever been printed, even the really scarce sets, are in that book, if I'm not mistaken.
They are, and there's another one that Scott mentioned that was just a little further away. I just got this week, the Sports Collector's Bible. This was from like 75, and but there's been more issuances since then, but it's got similar sets that I never even heard of. So there's a few more Aaron cards I didn't know about that weren't on the registry that now I know about. So, I mean, I'm old, so I don't mind looking through a book. It doesn't have to all be online. I kind of enjoy thumbing through a book. It's fun.
It is, yeah, I agree with you. And even though that one there is pre 75 only, the newer stuff is much more easy to find out about anyway, so it's not a big deal there.
Exactly.
So Matt, can you speak a little more to Net54? I joined Net54. Drew from the Vintage Legacy turned me onto it, but how do you go about like searching your player? What questions do you ask? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I can afterwards I'll text you. Like there's a link I found for Hank Aaron that this guy showed like every one of his cards, but there's a search bar, and if you go to the chat, not so much like the buy sell trade section, and then if you search your player, I assure you someone's done a Brooks Robinson page. Okay. Where they've kind of just shown every card by year. And that's kind of been motivating for me, right? Because I've been like, okay, this guy collected everything. Like, it kind of got me collecting the team cards. So I started doing just all the normal cards first, and now I have all the team cards of Hank Aaron as well, at least through 75. And then, but yeah, he had everything. Literally, like the 59 bazookas. I wish I don't have those yet, right? So it's just kind of fun to see them. And he's like me, he doesn't care what the grade was. So he just wanted to have the cards. So that's kind of how I collect. I want to just have completion over, I guess, quantity over quality. Just I want to have them all, right? Because they're just really, really interesting. Everyone's different snapshot in time of the game, what was going on in the U.S., et cetera, right? All these various companies, right? So it's interesting.
Awesome. So I kind of sabotaged Dom. I didn't see enough Clemente being shown. Too many Yaz cards. Let's show some more cards here. So I got the 62. Yeah. I got the 62 Dexter Press here. I don't know if any of you guys have any extra press cards on hand.
Is that the 68 or
68? Did I say?
I got that. Yeah, we're good. We can start doing that. I was gonna do that earlier. I don't want to like cut people off.
Yeah, let's not nice. So what Picker Jim's got the 67, right?
Yes.
67.
Yeah, I need the 67 still for Aaron. I don't have it yet.
Oh, we got I think we got Dom maybe trying to get back in here. Dom, is it working?
I think we're back on.
All
We can
right.
hear you.
All right, cool.
Well,
When you do live productions, people, things can go wrong. We're back in here.
It's all right. We were just kind of spitballing some sets, and we were all putting our cards up on the screen that went to that set, kind of rapid fire type thing. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, I mean, if that's where the conversation goes, I'm good with it.
Anybody have any Topps bucks on them?
I wish I brought mine.
Top spots.
Yes.
I've got that on my watch list.
Anybody?
I got it. Just a minute.
1962.
I think I saw yours, Theo, and then I think Lou Rock showed one, and now I have the Brooks Robinson on my watch list. So it's
Nice.
it's in the future.
That shouldn't be too costly, I wouldn't assume.
No, I think it's over $100, but it's not anything insane. So
So one of my favorite things that not enough YouTubers I think care about are the Topps posters. So I got the 67 poster here, which I love. I got a 7 on it. I got it graded raw. It's just gorgeous. And these go for like raw. They go for like $30 for Clemente. I love the Hank Aaron. I have obviously behind me. I have the 68 Mantle and 68 Clemente. Those are awesome because they're bigger. Jim, did you ever get into posters? I don't think I've seen you talk about Topps posters.
Not yet. No, I don't have. I have never picked up any, but like everything else, I'm always open to it.
I love them. Dom, do you have any yet?
I'm a total stickler with them because they're so paper thin. I'm just so nervous about getting the exact condition that I want on one that I have not been making any moves. But they are really cool.
They really are, because even if you get one that's a little bit like has a couple holes in it, once you put it into a frame, like this Clemente is really bad shape. But once you get into a frame, like honestly, you really don't care anymore. Just my opinion. The other thing that I think Matt was bringing up is coins. So Topps made the Topps coins. I got 2 of them here for Clemente. You guys have any coins on you by chance?
I got about 20 coins.
Yeah,
What coins do you want to see? I got Topps.
Matt's got a lot of coins.
Start with these are all the Topps ones from 64 and 71.
wow.
And then Armor did coins. I don't have all the colors for Armor, but I got an example for each that the registry requires. This one's 59. And then these are both 60, and one of them's got the brick Milwaukee on the bottom. Is the only difference. And then there's just a bunch of different colors. So I haven't gone for completion on this one yet. There's too many out there. And then Theo, you have the junkets, right? Do you have the Solata?
here's the 2 Solata junkets. That was in T.
62 and 63, right?
Yeah, 62 and 63. Love those.
I got those, and then I got the Sheriff just came in yesterday. That's the potato chip one, same as the 62, but just the Canadian version was in potato chips instead of the tea junket thing.
James said he's going to send you a poster in pinstripes. How's that sound, Jim? You like it?
No, thanks.
You guys, I think Will, you mentioned the Old London. Did you pick it up, the Brooks Robinson Old London coin, or no?
Yeah, I did. I got it for $30. It was
Nice.
It was a PSA 6.
Yeah, I like the blue. They're really nice.
They are cool. Dom helped me out on that one. Wasn't expecting to see it at my show. The show that I have here in my hometown is pretty modern for the most part. I came across a guy that had some oddball stuff, and he was sitting there, so had to go for it.
Yeah, they're fun.
But I noticed that, like, I'm surfing eBay. I've noticed that a lot of coins are graded like 8s and 9s and stuff, and then they're just like not in the price range that I would want to pay. So, have you guys had much experience in terms of getting raw ones and grading them, or what kind of advice do you have for those?
I bought them raw, then I rebuy them graded is what happens because I get worried. So like the 64 tops, and that's the fact I'm probably with the 71. I bought this raw one first and looked really, really bad, so I bought a graded one. So,
Okay.
but I end up, and plus the grading fees is really expensive on the coins. I think
Really?
I want to say it's like $60 for a coin, which is really a lot. So it's almost worth just buying them graded if you can.
Okay. So that's another question. You guys are picky on grading versus PSA versus SGC, or
SGC doesn't grade coins yet.
They
I
don't?
wish they
Okay.
did. Yeah. So that's why none of mine are graded. I'm not going to pay $60 for a coin I bought for $30. Doesn't really make a lot of sense.
are you exclusively SGC or?
Yeah. I only grade SGC. I only buy SGC unless SGC doesn't grade something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's uniformity in the master set. I'm the slave to the master set, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got a Frankenstein set right now, but I'm trying to slowly move it over, either rebuying or crossing.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here, but last before I leave, did anybody bring exhibits? We got to bring out some exhibits for
Yeah,
Stu.
for Stukes, I did.
Yeah.
Anybody bring them?
Yeah, Yaz's one exhibit's pretty pricey.
Yes,
What do you go ahead, Matt? You got yours?
I got them all. Yeah. There's the 47 through 66. I bought this. This is just a heads up on these, Will. I bought one fake, so
Oh wow.
if you're looking to buy Brooks, be careful. This one, that's why I ended up having to rebuy this one graded. But I know no more now. If you see one that's got a really white back, it's probably fake. It's supposed to be like cream colored.
I have the Brooks. I was gonna go grab it real quick.
Oh, cool.
47 to 66. I don't think he has the other ones.
Oh, you're lucky then. There you go, Theo. There's the stat backs, right?
Yeah, this one's black.
Does he have a black stat back or just the red one?
He has a black also.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So here's the two black and red from 62, and then those are both an SGC. I got some again Frankenstein. Then here's the 63 stat back, red. Those are now according to Stuke though, there's like 3 other variations of the way this one's made, based on if it's printed in USA, made in USA, and how close it is to his feet. And so I guess there's more to get, but really nice.
I got that one from the guy. It was a dupe from the guy that's the top 3 in the master set. Right
Yeah, that one's super nice. Oh my goodness.
I think it's a PSA 5. So I
Looks
got it
good.
back before the card boom, so I don't think I could afford it now in that grade. But it's all about timing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and the exhibits are another example, kind of like the Topps Giants, where you get the oversized discount on just like some fun stuff with great images on them. I don't care if it's a blank back. Obviously, we all like to read the backs of cards, but we're displaying and looking at the front a lot more. So with these different issues, whether they're Topps or otherwise, I just want to talk about the thrill of the hunt before we get out of here and looking at new stuff. So when this all crashed, I completely X'd out of all the stuff that I had to pull up, but we are fine anyway, because we can still talk about it. What cards are on your guys' radar specifically right now? And what have you been using as resources to kind of learn about them and figure out what price you're willing to pay for them as well? Because I think that's a really important part.
I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess for me, I sent it to you, Dom. The 61 Manny's Land. When Theo showed his Clemente from the National, I was like, I gotta have that card, and I was like, Brooks has got to have one. So looked it up on eBay. Unfortunately, there's only one graded, and the guy wants an astronomical price for it. I think he wants over $600 for it. And you and I, Dom, talked about it. I think it's a 1.5, maybe. I don't know. It's not great. It's not a high grade. Let's see, get the sun out of there. We talked about it, and we were like, that's probably like $100, $200 card tops, maybe. He slashed the price. I think he had it for over 1,000 at one point, so he slashed the price significantly. I don't know if that one will ever come down into my price range, but that's definitely one on my radar. I'd be open to picking up one raw and sending it into PSA as well. Like we all know, oversized cards are ridiculously priced, so I'd have to get the raw one for the right price. The other is the 64 Wheaties stamps. There's several of the cut ones, I guess you would say, is what it is. And then there's one complete panel. So the completion in me would want to go for the panel, but I think the registry only requires the cut one. So, yeah, Matt
There's the
showing
panel,
that.
and there's the card.
There it is. Yeah, those are sweet. I think.
It's just a one, but it's fine. It's a one to have it. I'm the same way. I want to have it all,
I'm
right?
just all about having the card. It doesn't really matter the grade for me. I don't know. I guess Wheaties is so big in sports. You know, like did you have your Wheaties today, kind of thing. That naturally I just went that route. So those are the two that are kind of on my radar, and I guess the Topps Bucks as well as Theo was showing his, Clemente and other guys were showing theirs. So I don't know, just seeing other stuff on YouTube that you guys show, I'm like, man, I wonder if Brooks has that, and I go check it out, and goodness, go check it out, and if he has one, I check the registry. If it's for the registry, I put it on the old watch list, which is pretty long right now. So those are the two big ones for me.
Yeah. The two for me, Don, was the 60 Lake to Lake, which I know Rick Vintage Oddball Cards has shown off a really good one. I think he got off my slab. It's a really good deal on it. And then the other one is the 55 Spick and Span die cuts. The problem with both of those is the pops, less than 30. I think the die cuts is like 11. And so I'm looking at ones or twos, and I'm looking at probably both are going to be over $1,000. So going to take some time. Maybe next year's national pickups or something. We'll see.
Yeah, Jim.
Yep. So there was two that I had sent to you. One of them was the 1970 MLB photo stamps, which, again, like I was saying earlier, a lot of this stuff you can go on eBay and find right now. So typically when I'm buying, I'm more of a buyer of opportunity than really targeting something specific. But that 1970 MLB photo stamps, that's one that you don't see very often. It doesn't come up on eBay, and they're kind of hard to find. So that was one that I picked for that reason. And the other one was the 1969 Globe Imports playing cards. Pretty unique also to find. They pop up once in a while, and they have different players you can get, but to find a Yaz, it's not. They don't come up all the time. So, something like that, I would love to be able to get my hands on either one of those, just for the fact, like I said, that you don't see them all the time. So it's good to keep on the lookout for them, and
Yeah, Rick's asking about the stamps, and Matt's got them covered.
There's a standalone. Glare's terrible, sorry. I didn't cut you off, Jim. I was just responding to Rick's comment.
Oh, that's okay. I was finished up.
There's one with Mantle for the Mantle fans out there.
Oh, yeah. There's a few of them in the chat.
And then he's in a bunch of other stamps. I put all the stamp stuff together. There's a bunch of stuff like 74. That's the stamps panels, right? I actually got that one for the National.
Yeah,
and then the Dell stamps, the 69 stamps. There's 69. Gotta show some cards, right? We're almost at time, I think.
No, absolutely. We're running in.
We're gonna start doing fire away. 71. And then even some panels, right? So like the Dell stamps, just different panels, right? So this is the photo stamps panel, partial panel, I should say. And there's one with that's the Dell stamps, and then here's the big Dell stamp book. And I think Theo shut off. He got the whole book at the National, but the grading fee. One thing I was going to tell you, Will, though, the grading they're doing a special this month for supersized of $49. So I'm hoping some more items come out of the woodwork in terms of like Romani's land. I keep an eye out the next couple months.
Yeah.
I bet they get some pretty big submissions because they cut the price in half for this month's special. So I keep an eye out for that.
Do you have to be a member for that, or
you do have to be a member for the special? But I bet other people are going to sub their stuff because they're going to see what those Manny lands have been selling for, and they might. I know I paid a pretty good price for mine, so hopefully that some people will do it. There's some other fun, just oddball ones. I'm not sure if else put up things I want to see, but like the Topps transfer from 65.
Yeah, those are nice.
This one's actually one I just got this. I don't know if I've been showing this yet. This is the so talking about the front and backs. This is actually the 60 Topps tattoo. There's no peachy one that's super hard to find, but they actually put the picture on the back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, PSA.
I know. Come on, right? And then stand up. I think someone mentioned stand up before.
Yeah, that's one on my radar.
The candy lids with the test
Yeah,
issue and the
that
proof
proof's
and
insane.
I know you got some of those proofs done. You got like a couple of the square corner proofs, right, for super. Another tattoo. All right, sorry. Any
Yeah,
other cards you want to see? Put them in the chat, I guess.
It's fine. I mean, if anyone else has any other cards that they brought with them that they want a rapid fire show, the people are here to hear about these cards, but also to see them. So if you got some other stuff, just throw them out, and I'm sure Theo will sell you.
I guess what I'm taking away from this is I have a long way to go, but I just picked this one up. Matt would appreciate it.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, congrats.
No bad time to pick up a Hank Aaron rookie, I guess.
Yeah.
As the back pages would say.
Although he just traded 2 away, but there's the root beer hires.
Yeah, he's kneeling. Don will go nuts.
Yeah.
And then a spick and span, a couple national pickups, and then this one was the one that I saw Blue Jacket. I meant to show it earlier. The 54 Johnson cookies. He's got like an 8 or 9, but and there's the 55.
God, I thought so. Yeah. So do you guys? Your focus is the Aaron and the Yaz and things like that, but do you guys have other, like I do a lot of sets from the 50s, Hall of Fame autographs, things like that. So like, you know, as we know, hobby dollars only go so far. How do you guys manage all of that?
Not well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really like the constant juggle that we all have, because like I said, we always want everything but can only have so much at a time, and
Yeah.
you fall down all these different rabbit holes. I'm sure there's some people that haven't really went down the obscure rabbit hole that'll watch this and maybe start to do so, and it is really fun, but there are other projects and things that you might want to work on, so you kind of just have to juggle your funds accordingly. But I think, like Jim said so much earlier, some of these cards you're only going to get a couple opportunities really to get one at a fair price. And if you make sure you're budgeting properly, I think you'll usually have the funds to make that necessary or move things around, because these Topps cards, they're so iconic. These Topps runs, we showed our rookies, we showed some of those favorites. They're so great, but you can pick them up at any card show any day if you have the money. Some of these other cards, you're not going to be able to do that. And I think just continuing to like normalize them, instead of them being called oddball. I know John doesn't like it. They're cards, whether they're on candy lids, ice cream lids, photos, like it doesn't matter. They're all cards issued by different companies. And a lot of the stuff that's obscure is from Topps itself. They even were willing to branch out and make other stuff. So just do your hobby your own way, but be open to these different rabbit holes and branching out into the stuff beyond the player runs, beyond the classic Topps designs, because there's some great stuff out there to collect.
Definitely.
When it's something rare like that, it's something rare that you don't see all the time. You got to buy it when you see it. That's the thing I'm always telling myself is when I'm looking at something, if I don't see it very often or if ever, it's you got to buy it now because you might never see another one.
Yeah, I see Adam wasn't here when I showed it earlier, but he requested the 71 greatest moments. So there's the Yaz, one of my personal favorites. I love the black borders. And stuff like that is just so fun. Matt, any closing words for people that are trying to expand past the Topps run into these cards of different players or teams they like to collect?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would just say probably do better than I did in terms of learning first, because you're just going to go, it's like overload. I kind of overwhelmed the system a little bit, which, but it's been fun. I definitely think find a few folks like us in the community that are into some of these, you know, are kind of far down the path. At least can help you like try to pinpoint the ones like Jim just said, don't let go by. Like if you ever see a 62 exhibit and it's in your price range, just buy it as an example, because I regret that one. Stuff like that where there's only a handful of, and it's because of real scarcity, not because of like manufactured scarcity or grading scarcity like you mentioned. Don't let those go. That's the main thing, because you're gonna regret it. I regret it every day. So, but have fun with it. It's a blast. Like that's why I like it though, because it's like the Topps run. I won't say it's easy, but it's definitely they're out at every show. We see them at every table, right? So I don't want to trivialize those cards. They're great. We all love them, but these cards are special. A lot of them are really special. So enjoy them.
Sure.
Amen. Looks like the producers are in to reel us out.
Look.
John's silent. They're both muted.
Good. Keep them that way. Keep going.
All right. Now we solved it. We don't have to exit and return like Dom did. But thanks, guys, for a great show. We've got another card to give away, which just so happens to be something outside the norm, right, Theo? There.
Yeah.
We need to solo that.
So since Dom's here, this is Dom's boy Lou Brock. They share a birthday, 1970 top super card. I think this is the perfect card to end this. May as well show a couple Clemente supers while we're in here.
All right, we'll have to get that smaller.
Super.
There we go.
All business,
All right.
John.
So I don't know if you caught, Dom. You happened to win the card during the last hour there. So
I was prepping for this one. I didn't see it.
yeah, you're now the owner of a Ozzie Smith rookie card, courtesy of James. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Congrats.
Wow, it's rigged.
but well, I will give it the 1, 2, 3, and 4 shuffles once again, and let's see.
Let's go.
Zombie Collector. Thanks to his VR entry, he wins the prize. So congrats, Jason.
He's gonna like this. It's I would say it's very minty. He's gonna be
Nice.
happy. Well, John, we'll give Dom the last word, but we had over 30 people in here. Thank you guys for the support so far. We got 2 more shows left. We got the TTM show next, and then we got the 40s rookie cards last. But it's been a blast so far. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Dom, you want to send us out?
Absolutely. Thanks again, Theo, John, Caesar, James, for allowing me this opportunity. I fumbled a little bit, but we rebounded and had a really good show. And I just wanted to thank Will, Jim, and Matt for joining me too, all the people in the chat. This was a lot of fun and hopefully the kickoff to a really great collaboration channel. So thank you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the shows.
Thank you all.